by the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. And may they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And thank everybody who comes to YouTube. Um, there are a number of people. This past weekend, I got to go down to Fairfax to a Dharma center down there, to a meeting group. And there was a blessing that was going on for people who passed. And so there was a number of old friends there, Tibetan friends who I haven't seen in quite a long time. And there were 8 monks that were there. It was wonderful. And Yangshin was there, and her brother Dorje was there. So it was very good. And a number of people said to me that they have been joining us on YouTube to watch and listen to the discussion that we had with Geshe Jampa. So it's been very good. They've all said they've really enjoyed the conversation that we've had and are happy that we are doing this. So that was very, very good. I really like to hear that. That was wonderful. So thank you all for all the participation that you all put into this and your thoughtfulness and the comments and so on like that. It's appreciated by many people.
Are you planning to go to see Kenshin in 2 weeks when he's there?
I haven't made a definite plan yet, but I think I will. Lately I've just been working 1 week at a time, but I certainly will make every effort to go. Yes. Will you be there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, very good.
Martina, I think, is going, so I can get her to drive.
Okay, very good. Okay, so let's pick up where we left off last time, and that was that Geshe La had asked a question of all of us to give a response because he was curious about this answer. So, we were talking about the points of the 37 practices. We were talking about 22, 23, and 24. So we'll get to recite all that in a few minutes, but just to get to this one point, if I can restate the question that Geshe asked, it goes like this. The statement and questions from Geshe for discussion in the next meeting. Previously, I stated, speaking for Geshe, previously I stated how we will be able to understand anger in terms of love and attachment. My question is, do you guys find it difficult in differentiating the love and attachment? There are certain points where the parents love their child, how they are willing to sacrifice everything. So that will be considered a form of attachment, too much attachment towards the child, or is that just another form of love? So that was Geshe's question. Yangshin, would you repeat that, please, for Geshe's benefit so he understands everything that we've said?
Thank you. Kasing dunda kaji dine tsu tengsuro che jar surui manzu kasing dila ni lang le ni sa yin ni sab shi pa do di che ani gishi gi kongzhu ngue zin dang di tab dio yin ne yang zewa dang kare cha pa na ora
Mm,
ka ni gya ji dila dis nor de do di shuk chang bu do sen kyang so ni kan de zin gyo la ni won di kan la tiwa go gyo di ko la yin la ni won di songs.
totally.
Yes.
Okay. So if you all are prepared, I can make a couple remarks, but I'll save those for last. So let me ask Zara if you would please, and keep your comments as short as possible. We have a lot to talk about today, but try and keep your comments concise, but at the same time comprehensive enough to make your points. So Zara, please comment.
Um, I think so. I originally, my original intuition on this is that it is a form of attachment. And that's as concise as I can be. That our children, it's still samsara. So our family is still part of samsara. It's part of the illusion. So I still think an attachment that you have to, unconditional love is being able to walk away if you need to. So I would say it's attachment. That's as concise as I can be, because I think of it as being in samsara.
Mhm. Thank you.
Do you think it's changed? Oh, I'm sorry. Yangshin, please go.
Yes. 아니 자라기 삼술라 페시 디다 카랑앙소 파메기 뿌라 저와 된당 지겨라. 어디 뭐디 페시 디 응조 카라 착발은 착선 가지고 나올 쓰시는 디레스 가시는 뿌레 나랑서 진 낭미리 차장로 탄데 코와 나로 코르디어라스. 어디 응조 콘솔 저와 가지 넘버로 디 등교 계절에 원디시니 카라 이야다 착바지 귤 파도고레 돌니야. 원디선스.
Thank you, Dara.
You're welcome.
Geshe, did you have a comment?
No, first to you, please.
Okay, well, let me ask Bernie, please. Bernie, do you have a comment or response to Geshe's question?
Oh, yeah, I've got a response. Am I live? Right, I'm live. Okay. It's rather long. You want me to cut it short, or you want me to tell you the whole damn thing?
Well, if you can make it concise would be good.
Okay. The difference between love and attachment is that attachment, you're expecting the other person to make you happy, whereas in love, your goal is to make the other person happy. That's as brief as I can make it.
That's
Okay,
very good.
thank you.
Yangshin?
버니기 카르송슬라는 딜라스타 제와다 차바지 디기들라 키시디 치니요 로시고이나 아니 제와라디 셴바딜 파 디기 스야롤니야 수수 미 셴바딜 저디 미 셴바딜 디기 탑고라스 아니 착섬라니 가라서 되초초딜라 파 조단디 아니 셴바디기 수수 추랑자 기우 스야라니 직 expectation 도셔라 뭔디 이겨대
자칭 연주로.
자기 유교로 돼.
Good.
Okay, Larry, would you give a response, please?
I agree with Bernie. Happiness is the result of putting other people's concerns ahead of your own. And suffering is the result of putting your own concerns ahead of others.
Thank you. 아니 Larry 카르송슬라나 버니라 켈링기스 아니 디너신 디기라디 미셴베 강이디 수수레 두나야 신신진체다 아니 동예라디 아니 수수 강이디 응스라 땅니 아니 안드로치니 원드로체디 코고레스 덴디기 동예기 카레 규도디 융고레스
Last. Great.
Kongo, can you respond?
Yes. So at first thing I thought about was the Four Immeasurables prayer. I mean, we do a short version of that, but the one that I've memorized says that at the end it says, just as a mother shows love for her only child, so you should generate love for all beings. So this idea of the mother's love for the child is presented as an ideal for the love that we want to present to all beings. So in that sense, it's not attachment. And then that could become, though, attachment if you were putting the love on the child because you wanted to get something back from the child. Like you were like living your life through the child, like you say, in the West, we might be like pushing our child to do really well in school so that they can get a good job, so they can help support us when in our old age, or so that they can have the successes in life that we didn't have. We're kind of pushing them to lead the life that we didn't lead. So those kind of relationship with your child would be considered attachment. But if you were just wishing your child to do everything you can so your child would be happy and their happiness was your happiness, I think that would not be attachment. Thank you.
Thank you. 공기 가성슬라나 아니 디기 카레 신경하는서 카레 체맥이 신들라디 템바스주 순스 아니 원디가지 신들디기 타마딜라야 안데요레스 아메기 부글 저 대단디 수수레 카레 수수가지라 안데 신들디 하고서 그이라 탑시단 교밍이 어디 나올라 아메 저디라 간다 만다다 디요 마리 스푸라 라 체제 요 마리 라샤 온돌은 아니 키시다 파마기 나다 아메 저디니 디푸라 땡겨나 시니 기부 상말라 땡투나니 원디 오네 화라 저랑 레스 아니 저닝지 참불라 디룽고 진투레스 셴바야 아니 파 가레 착발니 착선니 되셔가지 디철 컨테스트 룰라나니 부글 저도 돼 이나야 제마 부 첨부 차도 돌라 아니 소소 추지 치레도 사면로다 안데 ngol 도셔나니 디 카레 attachment len tsikia dures 간다만도 소소로 제마 추지 치레 사면도 쇼라 덴디 톨지나 아니 셴바디 셴베 초니 부구 디기 체도랑 돌라니 아니 부가지 체도 돌은 추 개고치 삼노 메교로 체 덴디랑 이나니 제어레스
Conditional love 지다 unconditional love 레가
Under all this tea was Kunga she's asking is it more like are you referring like a conditional love and unconditional thing?
You're muted.
Right. The conditional love would be the love that's tainted with attachment.
Now realize conditional dilani condition do you do sambani ondi chini kong attachment gajing all sudu res.
Last that tuje thank you everyone. Pemesi konambas tusan yetam peng embaredi jamai that pay upon to tuje.
Thank you all for sharing. That's really wonderful.
Thank you. Yes. If I can make a short comment, and then Zara, let me make this comment. And that is that in my lifetime, relative to all this, it's a short lifetime, but, I was born right after World War II, 1946, and so on. And I've seen a huge shift in discipline for our children. And it seems as though parents today, younger parents today, of my children's generation, who children have become some kind of a badge of honor or some kind of prestige for them. And there's been no discipline or little discipline compared to what I experienced as a child and saw not just in my own family, but in the community. And there was a cooperation between teachers and parents where both of their authorities were respected because it was important to give that discipline, that consistent discipline to the children. Now it seems children are kind of running wild and they're kind of writing their own discipline. And if they don't want to do something, they want to do this or something like that, the parents will do everything they can to make that happen. They'll leave work 2 or 3 times a day to make sure that their children are chauffeured from one location to another to keep up with their hobbies and things like that. So all that to me seems to be very, very indulgent of the children. And the thing that they're really, really missing is the discipline and responsibility that they have to be able to take care of themselves, to honor their parents and know that their parents are doing way many things than maybe they should be doing because their parents are looking again like their children are a badge of honor for them. So they're doing these things. So that's my comment. And if anybody has additional things you'd like to say, Zara's next.
Lens like 공기 투수 딜러들은 다 코라 녜마다 카레 막신이요 맞춤 콘스네 다 막신이요 저와다 다른 원도스 라이크인스 원도다 단다가지 투럽디기 미다 디졸타도 삼페 켜슈크 첨부스도스 켜 가르칸도는 딕수디간 페 슈크 첨부도스 아니 녜부 레다 단다 부기마 부준낭 로셔라 디게들이야 수수 부고라디 잠바 sorry 수수 부고라디 잠바니 디레샤스 카라 지소 나로 레레 창마라 카라 수수기 부고라 디잠바 수수기 뭐보로는 린탄 첨부로 짜 첨부로 지 아니 부고기 야고르는 야규에로다 지겨 라니 부고랑여수 딕주레 게레 엔드로 제메교르니 텐상가지 지소디 나로 부고츠 수수수수 딕주디 코란주랑 티샤교로 쇼라 기겐로단라니 엔들란 따둑도 직친이 딕주란 잉웨스 온데 케미세 딕실라니 메교로 직체 아니 파마게 부구랑까지 치에돌라 가리네 체대야도다 안드로 탑시당 거라 원디치니 가라 간다 부기 수수 겐쿠레 차상마 배배 신루도도스네 텐데소스
맞아요.
원디야 디 제와디야 차뱅오 토니 파토샤교돌 넘버 1 도리시
그래서 하나 자라 코멘트 지게야.
Thank you, Brother Lance. That was a really good one. And then, Sarah.
I actually wanted to know what Geshe's response was.
Zara gi gishla gi len khande ina lani wondi chi haku ni chosons.
nga ti tanda teju che number so sama ge tusan ye tang ge chani chi kar se gore sanu ta ya mambo ra den ju chi che ti kan la ngal kar he se na tanda teju kar se ko shi zo le hiu da ge yo se nge ya tanda brother lens ge hinju che ba na hi che ne nga cho phayu le zhong se ge phama de so ge pugul sanu tang tang pugul zewa te tang 텐딜랑에 가르쳐봤다 냠히 세월에 산노 양세 양세 땅거 요스 아니 아마가 부고를 제당 아니 양 자참 바루게 제당 제와 요당 양 빈자 바루게 제와 요당 양나 팀마인바 소소 칠로론 로디 자만에 베게레 미 냠타 쪼부 강인 테딩에 된레지 테 투용데 뜻sol라 양지 제와 레원당 양 미게 로부 토자가 강인 라면은 나초지 고용데 야 뜻sol라지 제와 레원당 드르고라 망보지라 삼노지 땅거 요스
아니 가져다. 당기
맞다. 다 맞게자 말레고 알다.
los. And I don't want to dish And then Gishi stated that after listening, like everyone's point of view, what he would like to add is just like Brother Lens stated, like he's also looking at the community, like how these generations people are like how the way of showing love, like how parents shower their love to kids is like kind of different from the past generations, and then the way like people show love all around, like it's just little different, like based on community, the way like how rural areas show their love, and then the way like how city people show their love. These are all like very, very different.
맞아. 배박이 나랑가 하고사가 산에도 솔라 따바이나 산에도 소나노를 임바이나 파마데 소고 부글을 창마를 제와 요바 간시라 부근 전타 체쉐다 파마 칼 년쉐 세고 말베 전타 체쉐다 디 수소게 답고자야도 수소랑 냐야데 탑히 히브지 제도스 안에 데네네 부고 왕부 전쟁다보다 보고 좁보다고 근데 담보니 제와이나 어느 데서 야디 쇼진이 데서 야 찬우 제운데 잠반에 왕부 전쟁 하나 루야가 탑신다보다 덴데 제네 쟁이 리징도스 그 리징은 보고 쪼셔들 로파 마와제야다 데 답보 마와제야다 다 쪼셔데 춘 르마탄치네 텔 로파 가르제구나 왕부 전쟁다 제바이나 델 요초네 생 인간 생각 말에 답베디 코란 고니 슈바도 제네 파마게 델 깔레 잡지네 징이지 닌도스다
In the Tibetan communities that I have seen, the way parents like show their love to their kids. Sometimes it's like how few certain parents, the way they love their kids, like the most the way they keep shower the love in a way like if they have two kids, they would be showing more love or keeping the one which is more obedient and then the one who's doing much better, that one like much closer and stuff. And then there's other ways like where sometimes like if the kid is being born with some certain defects and stuff, with birth defects, and then parents rather than like keeping them close, they would try to send them in a hospital like center, and then where like the other healthcare people take cares of them rather than themselves showing the love. So that's one case. And then in another way, there are like certain parents who would do their best in helping the one the suffering child, like with their utmost, like what they can do, like trying their best to help them rather than sending them to some health like help center, so they themselves taking care of them.
Ana teji che tanda nga so che zang che tanda nge hyo de hyo de ta pege nyamtha chobo chukang la ke ropa che ma thu nge pu yinanda me yenda yinanda tendela ana phakala hasan namda ge ropa che ge yinanda tsewa yinanda pege kange de mero che na samsa ten de te so chama de tangwini pure ke love de injira samsa ten ge dos 당게 군갈라 sombanashige unconditional love set tatel when telling when zichigi yos ngizisidel ko karsana chachen kaya mepi ke thone tapge kangi tel when phakyo ke kangi ran sano tanchene phakyo ke neta ran sano tanchene ane te meba charo chena ngis ko kangi de se thuro chena se yag nupatya de indi chachen kaya maybe thoni di unconditional love, the pure love the tere do sangdus.
So Geshe stated, just like Kunga mentioned in the previous one regarding the unconditional love, so the parents' way of showering, like helping the kid who is suffering, like trying their best, that would be like from the depth of their heart, that would be the pure love. There's no condition, like not hoping like something would be there in return. So that would be the unconditional love.
Tangi pen chasha paina hama kashi pugula tsewa yudi tsamane pugun junshu yashu ane chik suboina tangshu ane chik suso khala ina ya jula du ya junge ma jula na ma jul junge ke khala nyeshu tela yashu che de anda wata til tsewa cheshu che de tela chachin du sang dos te maumbar suso lo tsu yapo yunya suso khala nya tsu yopo juya te che undi tsambane te kanda manta cha te tso suso ke che do re de has phul sano chi tande te dukjare tende ke lage mes ina ya te tso suso rang ke che do yinde te nganzin ta danzin ta ane attachment tanda chasen ta suso rang la tso kisi ko ke pugti ke tsewa ngene de yimba na phaji ropa che chawa da pha yapochi che cha du takarang ndri su nge khol guya de che thu su san gan de de ma to ta maung pa shulu tsuji maje ba na luna ya de yo mares.
And then the other example of the parents loving the most obedient one, the kids who has every like the better one, that could be like there could be like another motive behind the parents thought for loving this kid, the obedient one, because it could be like in the near future they might be able to like help me in a way, like somehow some sort of expectation, and then this would be like from the parents' perspective, it's more like a really selfish way. And then this kind of love could be considered as an attachment. And then in case like in the future, if the obedient kid, if they couldn't like help the parents or there's no something like in return, then anger and other like the negative emotions could come into control as well.
Tende cheonde tiki jele yang kangi jin soyong gores suso kanla ya kangi ji soyong gorela maungpa susu par rewa japa na ki tsoro bachi maji bayina nge ma che maji na tata yin sanya rawa tende ya yunga rela ane chi pasho teta susu paro la yang sengen ganda chi ya le yunga res dik.
And then this expectations of hoping something in return could lead to like regrets, saying like, oh, I have done this, but they are not doing this, stuff like that. So it might lead ourselves into like the other negative emotions like hatred and all this bad ones. So yeah.
ndo dine hena tsewa dhamma dike kaduyina senla yi dewa tang, senla jibun renpa mato dungen chun renga maris. Tsewa di se susu la cha denjo kan dwacha da nyamdun re denjo tsewa dike jela susu ka miyu da cha shi tang jeba nangi tata de jela cha chen de yoba nangi ma jeba mayung pa ina ane dike jela yang ganda suya tang susu ka sen majiwa suya di tende res.
In the end, the pure love, the love out of pure with no conditions, that would be a source of happiness for both parties. And then the attached love, the one, the love where like which involves little attachment, so that would lead to like suffering rather than happiness.
nga di yang pena pomo parule chapa seya jora sasam parada ta nganzo posa masa parala chi gabo seya nda wata nga chwela ga ko nga la ga seya geja chora ni de kan la kadina dum de de log yo la ngaran so chi gi shetang ngaran so pei ko la tanda ngoma shevchin tamba de na lo la dum de legres ane de le nge ge garasam tang ge sena 콘소 주 란촌 제보 이도와 ane demo thamo ide kal khonso phap chupe misi semba dus tengi dedu kal thop sanu karachi tangu esena kesi poi shole inanda pomo shole imba inanda kesi chi domba meg chibanda wo tende chi chomba ina tsewa de munthini degirwe sia de tengi twa hiu tigi yos ti kesi degi meba ina ti tsewa yang tapa chayo maris te munthini de yona tsewa yang tapa cha de yoris.
And then for example, if we move to like a relationship where like two couples are like how like a relationship between a boy and a girl, and then from there like how we could differentiate attachment could be like sometimes the loves are always like based on the physical appearances, like how they love each other in a way. And then if something bad happened to one of them, like whether it's the boy or the girl, if something bad happened on their physical appearances, and then the love between the couple, if it's still the same, then that would be the pure love. Otherwise, again, that would be turned into more like an attached love.
다 ndo 디디 해봐야 나간서 차센스야 데 가르세나 콜 무용이 제주요레스 더 차센이 데 간서 난주 러브 해야 주요와 된 차세야 데라 무용이 제주요레스 야나 코그 페겔라 돌 차데요레 야나 줄 차데요레 야나 지 줄 차데요레 야나 지 줄 차데요레 근데지 인잠 지 수솔 지 톤데니 페겔라치 차야 때라 더차시그레스 때 러브 자완이네 마레스 때 가르세 제와 자완이네 마레스 아니 때 마임 바체네 파쇼 때라 샤차차 콘 나와 마주나 차와 마주나 코 야와 주나 콜 강에 많테나 삼사게 던디게 상로 따다 딩이 지바이나 따띵문에 때 러브 데레스.
And then the attached love would be somehow like a form of love where it has one way or the other way, like another motive there. Either like it could be attached toward the wealth of the other partner or like the body or something like, or either you want something from their end. So that's really not love, and then that's more like a form of attachment. And then rather than that, hoping the best like to your partner, like may like hoping the best to them rather than like having some sort of other motive or something, hoping for something in return, then that would be the pure love.
대체원데 최장한서 저런 버치 가두이나 제와다 샴제 간을 희원데 준신 체회데 라 동에 만들어봐나 히 예 동에 만들어봐 ran dewan dopa na hi yen dewan dopa junse dig thone ran da yen chaman ranyam jinchong ane chig chig lu thongchung che meba chig chig lu dongye zoju meba nye koju meba pena jawram bachi chekhe de karasona changmala phen ma thona ne ma chi se dig te ngone tsewa ngone de yang ta ba de deni song de ge be de ta nda ba de tanan dus.
Mhm. And then even when His Holiness the Dalai Lama, when he talks about love and compassion, just like how you don't want suffering, the other person also doesn't want suffering, right? So we all are kind of same. We all wish for happiness. And then do not harm others. So more like his way of stating like the love and compassion in a good way is like even if you couldn't help others, then at least try not to harm them. That's like the best way of like showing the purest love.
다 당한테 타마디 해야 돼. 나랑서 나주 나게 준도네 차선다 나랑서 참할 때 차선다 대화 연조가 제와 될래는데 되게 제일 강해 속도 에면도 수소 냠히 제야지다 차선다 만데비 제와 되게 강해 속도 에면도 간서 냠히 제야다 수소 센을 야네 어디 따따래도 디 따따래면도 삼산라버지 수소라 뇽아 두주에나 때때 간서 휴르 세르세른 로레스.
And then one last thing to add, as we encounter like in our day-to-day life, so when we experience love, and then sometimes when we show our love to our families, friends, or anyone, so you can always experience them. You can do yourself, like the study on yourself, see if you are being more practical, like if the love you are showing, if it's like ended up with the suffering one, then that could be an attached one. And then so try to like evaluate on yourself and then put this into practice.
라서 더나지.
Yes, thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Does anybody have a burning follow-up question that you'd like to make or a statement that you'd like to make before we get into the next verses of the 37 practices? Okay, very good. So then, so what we have been talking about up to this point with these last three, the point number 22, 23, and 24, these practices were traps that we can fall into. They were the appearances, the dreams, and the rainbows, and this family attachment with our children and so on is one of those traps that we can get into. So that's what we have been talking about. So usually we've been going through and reciting all the practices up to the point that we've been studying, but it's getting lengthy. And so tonight, if we can, what I would like to do is just read the homage to Lokeshwara on the first page. Just read that to refresh our commitment to the homage, and then go to the next section where we're going to talk about 25 and so on. So if that's okay. So I'm just going to read here the first page. Does everybody have a copy of this, or should I screen share it?
Pema we have the copy I have that you sent is different than the one you share in the group. So if you can screen share, then that helps.
Okay, well, that's fine. The translation is a little bit different, but the meaning is certainly the same. I just gotta do a little house cleaning here. Okay. So the 37 Bodhisattva practices by Nolchu Togme Zangpo. Homage to Lokeshwara. At all times, I prostrate with respectful three doors of body, speech, and mind to the Supreme Guru and the Protector Shenrezig, who through realizing that all phenomena neither come nor go, make single-minded effort for the sake of all sentient beings. The perfect Buddhas, source of benefit and happiness, arise from accomplishing the sublime Dharma. And as that accomplishment depends on knowing the Dharma practices, I will explain the Bodhisattva's practices. So we've been through the first 24 of these, and now we are coming to this next group. Make sure I'm correct. This next group starting at number 25. So I just want to point out that I've been grouping that I've for my own study, and I invite you to do, of course, your own study, and maybe you would look at these different verses and group them in different ways. But these next 6 are the 6 paramitas. And we've talked about that many times, the 6 paramitas, the 6 perfections, also known as the 3 mind trainings. The training of the body, the training of the speech, and the training of the mind, the mind itself. So these 6 comprise those 3 mind trainings, and these are the 6 paramitas, the 6 perfections. So what I'd like to do is recite these 6 now, and then ask Geshe to comment on one at a time so that we can digest it a little bit better rather than have a long, lengthy period where he's doing translation back and forth with Yangshin and so on. It would be more dynamic in the conversation if he can talk about, say, point number 25, which is generosity. He makes his comments, and then we have a discussion on that. And then after that, move to the next one, etc. Is that Yangshin? Can you translate that for Geshe, please?
Tering nganzu ani nisanga ni zaru zabdun ani thuk di da doris and di thuk di nganzu gi tadi zambal namsa parsing thuk la tun li du wandi chini gishla gi kisida nisanga lin tangshu jimba kan sungere ani di jeli ya khara tsutim re sebare la ani chin bari bari ma dya sha and ro chini shedu zambal nganzu kan lo ting chik la chik she sha wandi la or
텐치를 지시하는 데는 도와줘
tudur
아주 지긴 송아 들베 음 됐다 아나
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Okay, very good. And I'm going to recite these 6.
Okay.
25. If it is necessary to give away even one's body while aspiring to enlightenment, what need is there to mention external objects? Therefore, practicing generosity without hope of reciprocation on positive karmic results is the Bodhisattva's practice. Number 26. If, lacking ethical conduct, one fails to achieve one's own purpose, the wish to accomplish others' purpose is laughable. Therefore, guarding ethics, devoid of aspirations for worldly existence, is the Bodhisattva's practice. 27. To Bodhisattvas who desire the pleasures of virtue, all those who do harm are like precious treasure. Therefore, cultivating patience devoid of hostility is the Bodhisattva's practice. 28. Even hearers and solitary realizers who accomplish only their own welfare strive as if putting out a fire on their heads. Seeing this, taking up diligent effort, the source of good qualities for the sake of all beings, is the Bodhisattva's practice. 29. Having understood that disturbing emotions are destroyed by insight, possessed with tranquil abiding, to cultivate meditative concentration, which perfectly transcends the 4 formless absorptions, is the Bodhisattva's practice. 30. If one lacks wisdom, it is impossible to attain perfect enlightenment through the other 5 perfections. Thus, cultivating skillful means with the wisdom that doesn't discriminate among the 3 spheres is the Bodhisattva's practice. So those are those are using the 6 paramitas as practices on the path to become Bodhisattva. So would Geshe please make comments?
Shambanji, Jimbati Kang Huinda. Chezang, Tanganzo, Tambudi, Sano Tangu, the Tusan Jegu, the 6 Paramita Larva, Pashin Tru. Ta Pashin Tru de Jase Shanchu Semba Namke, Lane Che, Nyamne Che, Yuena Menade. Rani San Jeguna, Pashin Tru de Nyane Chegure, Yana Pento, Yote Message Chegugana, Pashin Tru de Nyane Che, Chetu Baina, Yana Pento Chetu and of the Chagueres.
Before moving to the topic generosity, please think about the 6 paramitas, and then these are the practices that the Bodhisattvas had practiced in order to seek enlightenment, and then even if you want to help others, so these 6 paramitas are really important. So please think about these 6.
Nansoki, those 6 Paramita Sano Robsets Tangi in Nijibu Shueres, Tambotilla Jimba, Nimba tilla Tim Song as Yorwa, Jimba Tsutin Larva, Somba tilla Zopa. Zosend mena Karina Chetu Marta. Zoparwa, and Zundu de Mena Karina Tanda Dutu Marva, Jimba Tsutin Zopa, Zundu Serva, and something la Duzamana, same tembo nea derva, same tembo nea de Mevaina, and Leka Karaju Dupaina, Pujan Rimbota, Ting Rimbota, and Chagi Dembe Ngane Pa, Love Chimbon Duya the Yungomandua, same tembo de Mevaina, Yaji Chena and Dundomoyo, Maji Chena and Dundomoyo, Paji Chena and Dundomoyo says on the Tendere de Vaina. And Lendon Jachimut do two modus. And the hero singing the called Namju derwa. Namju the Metsa Shinchela Pegela Zawani, Nyomo Tuson de Tata Sugu or Zawanipa. They may they younger Meduzamane and a hero of the and a Zachimbo, he was just song. That passing through the Nanzo Goang Yapado Yapachago and those.
And then if we think about it like in a really brief way, the 6 paramitas, the first one is generosity, the importance of giving, and then the second one would be the discipline, like the ethical discipline, and then the third one, patience. If there is no patience, then there's nothing that would like we can do, right? And then the fourth one would be the diligence, and then hard work, like that's really important in order to make something work. And then the fifth one, concentration. So without being having a concentrated mind, if we keep moving like from here to there, then nothing would work, right? So being able to concentrate on one thing and then make it like more practical so that an outcome will be there. And then the last one, the wisdom. That would be the key. Like without the wisdom, then we won't be able to have a solution to eliminate the roots of all these negative emotions, right? So it's really important to have wisdom.
Ta tanda nganso ki lane sodi nalo la tsiti ke karasong yarisana shanchun depi luja tango nas shuro ngopo nan myochi gwe sonrwa sanji jo gompa dru yundi tsambane soso ko lu yinshe jimba la tango yo nas pena di karasana ngaranto tamu lu yinshe daja tenpa ngwe shanchu sembe kewa lembe kaso la soso ke kuzu korang ta la jimba tango ke nganso loju dine legyo yaris Tendewe ene shanchun depeke lu tangu ge yona yang ngarang sochi chalandaw tisi pangondaw kange nyamtha chap chenpo dende saju me tungju marachi ti kange chenpo dende te thusona te cholo ngune chane ke palhasan nanda ge tone ngopondaw tisi tangu eda a jangjang res te tanya te ya tangi nganso kecha juwa lenda nami marewe se de chambane soso ke mingda ke ra chenbo ta tende do ta ane yang pa jimba che tangba ina tsunga la chi rama yung se zonda tende ma yin bi ke tone pa sho ko la tangwa ne tane ka kom de ge de la chode te sa so na ko kom se sa re tagarang ga ngan ru son sam sa tende ji ke tone ane jimba tang to gure se te re shas.
Mm-hmm. And then now coming to the 25th verse about the generosity. And then when those who seek enlightenment, even if they need to give their body, and then they doesn't need to like mention about the external things. This is just like the example where like Lord Buddha in one of his lifetime, there are like stories where like Buddha was born as a like a prince, and then where he sacrificed his life to a hungry tigress, which was like in one of his lifetime. So this goes to the same thing, like where he was just giving it out of generosity, right? Not expecting anything in return. So when giving out, not hoping for something in return, and then that would be the purest form of generosity.
Tanda ngamso tiji duwala lenda nami mrevi jimba tonga jase lane yin se jura tangi ngamso conditional love the unconditional love se de jo watin rabo pe yoreste di pha jimba tang sa de ni komo chutte nanda ni khute nanda khala ji te ge nanda chuji te ge nanda tan di de wa gunga cha yo ro gunga cha de we katul me shewun cha de nge tela tolo ji yo sa de khol ti tre ji te sa so na ngan dik sa sons khala ji te sa de ko o ta trogo trin ji ja thu wa tagarang ngarang ndik sa sons ko kakom de nge chutte wa tagar ko kom se sa so na ngen rik sa so sane daga ma to jel chu ka ke rewa ma je ya te ngan so ngone thane ke pa jimba ngone ra ba de dange ngarang so zewa le yin no chu kan le ji rewa je ma de nge pa hya cha cha ta ni ne ne je de tagarang ge te zewa yang ta ba ze ya de dan di ni ji ba cha ga dos.
And then this goes to like just like how we were talking about the unconditional love. Even if like you are giving out like a food or like certain dollars to like a homeless person, and then you should be able to think in this way. Okay, I gave him food. Now he is full. Like that would be it. Like because you have done your part, right? I'm okay as long as he is full, right? That should be your intention, not like expecting something in return. So the practice of all the Bodhisattva is to give out of generosity, and then with no hopes of something in return or like expectation of a reward or something like that.
Cheza dikatu leondi tsambane jimba tangdong kotela nganso ke mambuji jangu gu dus. Shetang nganso tepa chenpo na mahayana ki tinanglo lo song di jimba tangdi tsambane le shangchu ki sengi tse simba tang. Yang chik tendriku kola ya song gu dus. Ta nganda wa chik tanda katu sano tangda chepa ina kayo layo jimba tang sidi jimba tangsa tela pen tohin duna yen sano mambo tang hina yaxio re sano mambo tang ma hina ya ta kol katu ji tresha di pena ngaranzo tohi te desa samsang sacha dewa le wende mede ta tohi le jab tuba ina tagarang nrisong samsa ke jimba tang hina ana tagarang ke teso lab chenpo hiwi insara samsa tenga dus yen sano yawa tong tu na ta yaxio re tong ma tu na ya tagarang tone.
Mm-hmm. And then we should also learn the way to give out of generosity as well, like how we should do it in the right way. As long as you are offering something, if the other person who is being helped with, as long as that person is getting a help from yours, then that should be good. So you don't need to think or it would be great if you are able to like think in a really great way and all those things. But if not, then just giving them out of like without any other intentions, being able to like offer them something. And then if that person is being like the one seeking your help is being helped, that would be it.
Nganda wachi ke chue jangi yin la tebar chenpo chue jangi yin la machi ke mi tongsen ji chi penjo yode ngi chi la chi charang ju la shanchu ke sem ke kunhung jebi ke ton jimba tang ton jimba lab che hye dara da ya hye dara da wa la ne Tende chene phakyo ke te tang matuna ya te chang ji jimba ya da mare hian da tende che pa ina phakyo ti ki chopo nyam thang ngone kyabya ki leka da tende ngo chen syo pa ina chi shin ngal dupan ju ya nyang ga yo sar samsa theng dus.
And then another thing could be like me as a Dharma practitioner, I might tell others like how to give out of generosity in the right way, like how you should feel them, and then out of empathy. And then if I go it in this way, what if I am like stopping the others, because they will be like, okay, I am trying to do my best to offer, but I'm not being able to like think it like out of generosity, like in a really good way, so there's no point of me like doing this offering. Because if I like made that comment and then turn the other person in that way, then I believe like I'm not doing a really like a good way. So this could be become a sinful action of mine, right? Despite like no intention, but in a way I am affecting the one who is like giving out, right? By telling them like the importance of intention and stuff. So that's why as long as you are offering something, and then if the other person is being helped with that, so that's like the best.
Yang anzo yinju tagarang res jimbi lungchu tingji deserwa pa jimba tamba ina suso jema la jimba la naming ndebutela tsu lungchu njunga de tenke sa res ya ngone jimba de tangdu tsamba ne maumba naming tela ndebutela samno tangche ne pa jimba tamba ina conditional ge jimba da waji chando ya ge te tindus te indu pa jimba tangdu ta pa tagarang pa hyol pena 화효디 강에데 세나 다가랑은 드수원 상사게 짐바드 마토 마음바 춘나미다 찌찌미지 세안라버테 레와데 마제나 데 야효사레스.
As long as we are doing something, whether it's an like any sort of action, there would be a karmic return, like a karma. So when you are doing an offering, so rather than thinking like the hope for the karmic return or like expectation of something in return, it's better like just do the offering in a way that you are helping the other, and then that would be it.
ane 파 짐바 땅디 잠바네 춘난주 야포지 rewa jangi tende yores ta 춘난주 야포 템바는 메싱에 소이나 가거와 춘난주 야포 마템바 제 추초바 녜바 템바 이나야 대유 카소텔라 소소게 나랑게 다 제탄된 리사소 콜 펜토고에디 제차인데 코난주 때나 게문도아 삼산라버지 든디지 간 데투고야 대야 짐바 젤 저곤세야디 타타 차비여사레스.
And then there are times where like you are doing the offering like out of generosity, like in a really good way, but then the person seeking your help might not appreciate in a way like you might have expected, right? So that could also turn into like an expectation way. So even if they are not appreciating your help, just do your best, like from your end, just give out of generosity.
든데라고 저래디야 다 든데 제원데 간서 제자 짐바들라 인지메지 단다 디 랑 짐바 라고고 만도서 상징기 짐바 라로 다 펜조 다 사야 동야 다 나랑서 그냥다 왔다 대소 무인도 때대 대소라 상징기 짐바 라그레스 다 이나야 간서 최지 짐바세디 나랑서 최쇼고 드닝체네 초랑서 그 상수 야포도서 나를 쳤대대야 디 나를 최지 짐바 땅데래 녜녜네 띠지 장윤조도서 초랑서로 파 피바대야 최지 짐바다고지 대야 차디 그래서 당한서 사산난다 상수 제len치에 최지 짐바 차디 그래서 상고도스.
And then our discussion sessions, like us sharing our thoughts and from back and forth, that could be also be like a part of generosity, like a religious generosity where we are sharing all our thoughts and then appreciating each other's thoughts. So this could be also like a part of generosity as well.
랑갈 벨 차캬바는 뭐냐타 쪼보데서 히로로 지금도나 지 죽박 파비자 땅게라브체 야 시우도 원데 지 참산을 때도와 랑갈도와 홍데디 잠바네 야 냐체네 카시게 코라 룬츠나 루체 섭서체네 칼라테 샤완다고 모타 그 둥갸디야 तेसोल खालाटे रोपा चेदी सतन ख्याछाबो ते थोंदो तेसोल मंजी बच्चब जी जिम्बासे न तंदा या सिगरेस.
And then another form of generosity could be in this way, like on the street, if we see some earthworm crawling in the hot sun, then trying our best to keep it in on the plants and stuff like that. Or like if we see a bird being fallen and then trying to rescue the animals and stuff, all these things also could be like that is also a form of generosity.
야 대단ям도 수수기 무수 짐바게 땅게메네 미 짐바 땅인도나 거기 샤와야 보던데 제소아 텔 제소이라 gonde 바이나 티아 짐비게 페연도 버티 냠도 질레디게 버티 집반다 지긴 사레스.
And then another way would be even if you are not doing the offering, but if you see someone else doing like giving out of generosity, if you appreciate their action, that would also like result in a virtue like for your as since you are appreciating the way they are doing.
또 nga 짐바데 콜라 텐텐데다지 야나 코나벌게 소아나.
That would be it on the generosity, like the 25th verse. And then if you guys have anything else to add.
Just let me set it up and ask you that, we've all heard these 6 paramitas before, many, many times, some just a few times, but we're familiar with it to some degree. So if you can speak to that, what it means to you and how much you've been able to increase your appreciation for the 6 paramitas. And in particular, we're talking about generosity, how this has brought it out of something that we took for granted into a field of our activity as a person who is on the path, at least, to become a bodhisattva, to become a practitioner, to become a yogi or a yogini, to become a bodhisattva, ultimately to become Buddha. The appreciation for that.
아니 공기 가르송슬라는 뜻한다 파싱 투디간리아 다 차장로기 디스 코디뉴여레스 디시 고로 추고레스 아니 다 기실라기 아니 디간리아 파싱 투 딜라 칸딜라 제소 이랑 조당로 쇼라다 파싱 투디페 칸디로 다 원디 간지 송다 스라니 원디 송스 다 단당 아론수 짐바간 조레스 이나야 지여라
파신
파싱 투 코라간
칼리지.
라렌당 덴데간 토네
제가 다데 ngazo 파신 두가데 동전이 송 this 말라혀 송거르베.
Lansla, do you mean like summarize the 6 parameters in a way like how Geshe appreciates or?
No, just as a means to be able to take them one by one. We're starting with generosity to say to recognize how they have impacted our lives in this lifetime. How we being on the path, how recognizing, being introduced to, and recognizing the 6 paramitas, and particularly generosity, has helped us to progress along the path.
Bechasan tangaransu sangmata dindora chanjusam gingas laglen ya dodini ajung kangsa do indu samba ani bechasan ta thanda tuk nanglon tangshe di khara jimba aj kang do na jimba gingaransu mitsi nanglo ya jimba danyam do thuni do len endigi penu do shira ende do thol
라서 다디 제자 다가란데도 시당한수 짐바싱에 되게 쇼진을 차샤반에 짐바스야데 셰어를 해야 되러다 나저 고윤제보 희우직소고요레스 쇼진 나랑 정원에 자네 게 내게 참사를 원더 투세고란 잠물에 쉬운 그 차네 단다게 안수 잘라다 콘소 잘라 안수 싸차다 콘소 싸차세야다 버지 여러와 근데 그 슈첨보 제네 안에 망추 안에 메세레제 안에 지기 보고도서 망보 희버지 가르세고라 네빠직 가면 저 보고든데 망보 희고야한다 삼상 맹칸데 나로라 미야 째베게 쳇도 깔레 잡데서 또발 방칸주 마주 탭제네 맹칸노로 메든데 힌로야 된데다 산노 땅인데 딱 안초다 천소세 매바진 잠불이게 저텔 네 주다 코고 조세 된데 게 매워지 쉬운 거 차는 간서 속그 배줘 땅다 속 가르 키키선다고 된다고 파지 여러 제바 인테나 삼산다고 된데 용고도스 다 짐바 싱에도 여사신젤 디존다지야 용고여레스 뭐 참마가 세나라 짐바가 군호디 야보지 여러지
Generosity could be considered as sharing as well in a way, and then how like these days we could see like how people differentiate like my country, your country in a way like that leads to the wars, and then kids without doing anything how they suffer and then they die, and then hospitals like that's the place where like it's for helping others so that they would be healed, right? But then like how hospitals are being bombed, and then if generosity is within them, like within their like in all the human beings, like at certain point, then that would not lead to all this like differentiation of like my country, mine this, mine that, and all these things. So no differentiation, and then that would lead to a really peaceful.
쇼진의 간소 머싱에 되는다 간소 쏟다 쏟다고 임바이나 잠블인데 간라 짐바 먹은 먹지요 말에 삼사 땡가 도스 녜사나 카실라는 맹기 짐바 구구여레 카실라는 벤조기 짐바 구구여레 카실라는 야 타기 짐바던데 고인 거래 간담만다 짱 아랑솔 수수랑기 수수 예 로파추는 먹을 수수랑기 제통에 된 잠블인데 간라 하나마서는 먹지요 말에스 근데 인도 잠반에 로바 괴 참아디 간다 짐바게 쇼노지 차디 그레스 근데 임바 손장한 저 짐바 생에 때다 진핀 지조세 한다고 때다 찌라 찌땡세 한다고 때서 참아데 저와 휴침부 휴지 차디 그레스
In another way, whether it is us humans or other realms, everyone needs like generosity in a way, because there is no one that would be that doesn't need like help from others, right? We somehow need help from others, so helping others is a form of generosity. And then if you can, yeah.
안다 도슨 잠불리는 벤조게 차네 강에 메데바 이나야 셈게 차네리야 짐바 괴딩이 뭐 몸보레 야스 셈 칸게 로소 상로 담다 소소게 셈만 도야게 된데게 당아야 보던데 괴게다 미다페 다다 칸데도 와서 주체리 치세 데 괴게 데레디 야스
And then even if those wealthy people like they even if they don't need any like support or help with their wealth, but then emotionally like they still seek help, right? So they need the generosity on their emotional way.
아니 데인도 짐바 생에도 조 쇼진에 제와 중에게 차진다도 마소나야 야보 히브지 레스데 제와당 핀수파라라 제생원에 양답이 제생데 레야라 튼상 정해서다 차진다고 지에 근데 히브지 레스
And then generosity is also like a bonding, the one which bonds love, like by helping others, and then that's how you started sharing, and then which would be the generosity. So generosity is more like for a love or like so it's like the bonding, the one in between, the one which plays as a bridge.
that is one of it. And shooting the chasha by Naranso, Naranso me pepperes, and the me manchewa. They induce somebody tinsing it at Nangan chasha and tinsing it a pem messige. Nanso Chenano Carson resana tinsing it the Sagina yige. Yunte chasan yache la metamason pegi Sagina yige Penangaranso. 던tonda wata metonda wata hindon te so chewala mangi de sagi de gugorwa de namgi ge yente tsama yapo cheguna tambo mangi rawote susu ge chung yapo kigoya de me pa na kanju maju che che ne yente chesa yiza chuna me ba chanro ya de dende inde tsama ne chutung senge de ta chung senge de ge chenbu hyores
And then moving on to the second paramita, discipline.
Can we open this up and let some other people maybe make a comment or ask a question?
방부 진보 강림.
Larry, do you have a comment or a question about how this lands on you?
Um, no, I'm just basically sitting here and listening.
Well, certainly you've thought of these things before, you've heard of these things before, and so on. And through your career of being a practitioner, how has generosity, what does that come to mean to you?
Uh, just giving away whatever you have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Kungo, can you respond? Do you have any comments about generosity and how it is that you've come to experience that in your life and changes you've gone through?
Sure, sure. So I think several of us in this call are married. We have families. So when you're being generous, you have to consider it's not just yourself that makes that decision. You have to work with your family. So the first aspect that generosity is working out that relationship, that you have to respect the levels of generosity that your spouse, is comfortable with, you know. You have to respect the level of generosity that is acceptable for the kind of life you're leading. Um, Despite what Larry says, I bet you he hasn't given everything away. Um, so the monks have taken this vow of generosity and where they're living on very little, but has a very different feel for us living these lives of lay people and balancing our family responsibilities with our spiritual path and responsibilities. I find that the place where I provide generosity, I guess a couple different ways. There's just trying to work out how to be generous with material possessions that I have to work out with my spouse to come to agreement on things that we're both comfortable with. At my work, it's more of the idea of being generous with my skills, being generous with listening, being generous with compassion. you know, there's a variety of ways you can do any job, and just trying to do your job in a way that puts my aspirations as a Buddhist practitioners at the forefront. Um, so it comes across, it's in my job, it's listening. Um, I guess I just want to stop there for translating this. Thank you.
Okay. 아니, 내가 가르송스는 짐벌라니 코나기 고쳐야들은 또 스스로 가르에네 상마 째야들은요. 된대로 딜에 ngo징에 요레스. 스스로 요새메세 상마 째샤라셔라. 아니 공가기 가르송스는 딱 가래 ngaranso ta thanda 짐벌라 있다. ngaranso 스스로기 가래다 니네 la 추동오 도지나 아니 사상로 유디 zam바니 켜가기미 난클이야 직 잠잠이야 셰레 마셰레 롤 디조 간자 찍빠찍빠 롤은 튠부도 유야가지 체도 딜레야 짐바 중오 도지네 디레스 파주쇼들 뚱야레 가리네 아니 가래 타와도지나야 가랑한소 파싱 툴레니 디조 탐자디게 샤사디 잠바 아니 dislel hayu gyuresi na nganchu le ina ta ya nangmi ro di yu du zamban di ka je balance re ani di je la ya phajo ngarang so ta ya di khara nang chu ka je di laglen ka je ngus la ya pha du du zamban ya dis di yoras ani shemba ta kisi susu gi ni ren kang ro chupe ro ji shana ani khandiro chayala na ta nangmil do ngo do sina susu a jro ba di da nyam do ngarang so chingo bu tha ja sing sing di ge di kang le ya go shu shu ma ko ke ja do she andi ro la ne ta di ya ji ya kare tanda jimba jingo le zige yuris ani shemba pechashana legal doina susugi ani mi shemba dil khachue ni niere ani shincho dil samnutang susu yan di la ni ya do samnutang ma de do shora 딘디로 디게 디치네야 짐바 중올레 차고레스.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes.
Then the other part of that generosity is for me is being generous with my time. I try to give a lot back to the temple that I'm associated with, but even that I have to um, work with my spouse on that, right? Because I can't just give all my time to the temple. I have a job I have to maintain. I have, my spouse doesn't want to just be on the sidelines while I spend all of my time at the temple. So there's this constant relationship back and forth when you're in a relationship, trying to moderate and be generous because it's it's not so easy just to give everything away. Thank you.
Mhm. Thank you. 아니 카레다 수수 아주 투즈들이야 카레 짐바돌은 오돌이야 파징에 도 스페셜한 가지는 단다 아니 공바나로라 안드로이드 잠바니 소소야 레가 요레 아니 나미 요레 안드로이드 잠바니 공바를 투즈 가지고 땅투도 땅에 탑시 되던 게였다 디간을 나미다 ям도 차상을 디 체워레스 가지고 있는 좀 아니 간다 덴데로 치니 아니 다 차상로 때래 쇼라다 짐바지 덴데 디간을 랑린디라 베 카쿠도스투스
따가라. 빼면서 딱 응연에서도 튠바라고 송인 거다 티빼부터 그렇지.
That's really like a realistic, like a more practical way of expressing it. So thank you.
나디 brother Les, yeah, please.
I'm sorry. No, please go ahead.
ngala di chochabuji hiayas nganzo zinra jiba chodon nganzo ta thaba yorwa thaba yode nganzo chamsana chusho go dene chocho jedi samane langal mandu di jaga pangwen na de thudi ane chigi chil kol komo chuji tegi me la di samane ane nganzo chemo da dane khashi ke nganzo jimba tang gore lange dere ma to nganzo jimba tangi de mare ala ne keja dene chochabo dene yunyu yas.
And then I have a funny thing like to express like sometimes back when I was in the monastery and then once we are done with our discussion session and then when we are finished with our prayers when we go back to our residentials and then there on the way like while going we tend to meet up with we tend to see like homeless people or like beggars begging for money and then that time like some of my monk friend will be like then we tease each other like hey aren't you gonna do some offering like practice the generosity and stuff like that so they'll be like we are the ones who advise others like tell others to be generous like we don't do it.
Ende cheunde nganzo lalen se de ngune lelabo yomares lalen se de semi jam sendi tata jam sa shinchela ane sengi chi leunde lugu tone ane nanda menjon da yongu che thuya yonjo chi tere de shas ane namba sanji be chwesing de to sen zi kana jangore se de nyanga tere de shas.
Which is why being practical is really tough even for us like I said how we will be like we are the ones who advise others to do offering like we don't do it stuff like that but then Kunga's the way like he expressed everything in a really realistic and then like a practical way so that's really highlights like the importance of being practical.
딱 nganso dawa chil tadi dawa karida che gugura sena ta tasa risa kal komo ja chi ki tirin suso mechi ki sop cha thu do na ta tedi komo ja de ngone lo tang thungen dawa chi lo tang ya go chesin yonjo dawa chi ta tik gorges.
And then I believe what like I as a monk should be ready is like if I would be able to offer like couple hundred of dollars and then if that me doing this offering of all this money could be able to like save a life then I should be ready to be able to like give away all this money so that the life could be saved. So that's what I believe like I should be ready with.
Ina ya ari lumba la me indin ti din jo den la ropa lamsa chia de le ya nyenka che zig du se ngan samsan la di ngema de ngarang so linga den ro de chi ge inde ten che na ama den ri ha de zaman nge ropa che ro che de den de che ju ma re me si je le yang chul chung nyenka da zu gre la ro den de la de ya ti hena che yung du.
And then the country's law.
Tati tagara re shamba chila, kandis la kurlana. Pero nga di chiga, nga so ike la kaan nono la pugu kaanshu le di tsambane pugu chi le mene ma kaa ma tu chi ma ndrin lo di tsambane cha tu su suwa. Ane nga ko ropan jopo che na yagara san ropa che ro che di yang di ya ten di tsambane ten tang re ma re che pugu di nasa che rin ropa ina nga la tsu yala tsu kurin da wa tende layak lu su chidwa. Di chi di yang kya na sabu tende re kya so ropa che tang tiso.
And then another thing Geshe had encountered is like over here in the Western world, how uh, like you should be able to provide like help and then help others in a way like where there was one time like where it was like few kids were skiing and then they like skied like in a really dangerous way where the kid was like slided over till like the fence. So Gishi ran over to trying to help, but then one of his friends stopped him, telling like you should be careful because you might be thinking like from your way like you are trying to help the kid, right? What if like you if you don't be like being uncareful, and then that might like if the fence that scar if that lead like for a really long time, that could be like again like a pain for the kids, right? So in a way, like helping others, like out of generosity, also should be done in the right way as well. Yeah, something like that. Thank you.
I'd like to ask Bernie, maybe he can comment on, something that he's thought about, but maybe something about people who take up work for everybody's benefit that is difficult work. Maybe they're policemen, or maybe they're soldiers, or maybe they're firemen, people who take up dangerous work and are noble people. They're modest people. They may not be, very highly spiritual people, but at the same time, they're doing very spiritual work and being able to come to the rescue, to be heroes to people who might be about to lose their lives for one reason or another. So, Bernie, do you have any comment about that?
Well, since you asked, I guess I'll have to make as good a comment as I can. Now, traditionally, or at least in the Jewel of Liberation, they talk about three kinds of generosity, and the last kind of generosity is protection from fear. And that would seem to apply to people who are in these jobs of being, I guess I can't say fireman anymore. I should say fire person or police or soldiers. They what they are providing is that form of generosity that they're providing in that case is protection from fear. And I mean, obviously, if somebody needs to have the security and confidence that somebody will be there to help them in case of a disaster, an ambulance driver or a policeman, somebody that they can turn to and ask for help when the need arises, when an emergency arises. Now, from the point of view of being a policeman or a fireman, of course, I can't speak from personal experience what motivates these people, but I think a lot of people try to live up to an ideal, and that ideal comes from their sense of what their morality is. They try to live a life that's consistent with their morality, and you'll find that in a lot of people who take up these kinds of jobs, that they are people have a very strong sense of what is right and what is wrong, and the wish to do what is right. So I think it's really combined with the practice of ethics as well, so that what motivates these people to be generous in that way is their ideal of ethics, the ideal of a better society, the idea of the way things should be. So I guess I will leave it there, not overburden our translator too much.
Thank you. 아니, Bernie gi khar sungslana thangbo gishi khara landslide gi theodo di khar kurslana ta ngarang su pechashana nyedo pare ani mesenye re tende ro lega chini jigora khonsu gi ta mi shenpa changma ga ji khepeng gi chedola lega ninga jio ro ro
네.
di kangza di gendi khidu samba ani khonsu ta pat khora ngarang su masna chawa pat pe lap chenpo ro da tende ro ji ngo chini ji indu ani to khonsu a jingwe ni tende ga ji da di jingbe ngo ro da tende ro la ni di tiwa ro di che ani di kang la bani gi khar doms la na tang ngarang su khara jimba de ya ya som ro la ni je la ji je ji yo sarwa
Samsung jimbalar, chuji jimbalar, manjipa chapji jimbasir, huh?
원도 인도 점바 타마디 무지바 캡기 짐발라이들 아니 she낭레 아니 카리네 요라 원도 디강라 송송 타마디도 차샤나 아니 단다 말한소 카레 쿠란솔라 she낭다 덴데 유네 이나니 토파레디 카레 메세니 가지미디주 콘주기 말한솔라 디 록바디 다 둥고라 카리
양칼 만진 콘주 충거라.
아니 콘수 카레 nieto 받아다 코란소지 내가 디기 ngaranso mi 세규말이나 셈슈 파라레 덴드로라 아니 다 콘수기 자와 체당로다 되게 지금 덴베가지 디강라 둘루도당 디기 다밭 ngaranso mas나 디 디시도라오라 다 딕주도 지고알 유교도라니 엔데도 치니니 ngaranso 미가지 칸델라오다 moral ethics 도야 원도 디가지 몰 주인다 코란솔라 간다만다 디페요레스 심슈 쳔포도체 아니 카리 디교다 메라도다 덴디도체 아니 덴딜렌다 간다 코란수기 조미로디 아니 지소딜라 페야도레 카리니다 디 자와다 디교셔라다 야디랑 디치레르니야 다 딘데가지 ngo도 직 넘버 직 등고레렌송스
대빼 번도 대빼 대소도 빼야 번도. 간소 메시어로 가세 한다보다. 안에 양지 추나로라 간소 추기 년갈래온데 추나라 점기가 마음이다 녀도 바지레기도 하래. 양 팀민비기 제는 가랑 좀 지구를 놓바들레온데 아니 또 바도 속 대소매 바지 코랑 좀 되는 충분히는 야뭐 잡려야지 용거도. 다 대소문에 문제 바 잡지 좀 봐야 돼. 나보 통도 따라.
Bernie really gave out like a great example, and then how out of the three generosity, the fear one you were mentioning, Ishi really stated like the way these great heroes they are ready to like jump up and then help others whenever there is like some of these such crises. So yeah, thank you for these great examples.
Ngadi brother lens 1 minute.
Sure.
Ngadi chi hyo kar yosna nganso tanda di sala pal ndemban de kan rosa ji yor jarom bachi koi lazat teme ndemban de sa chi tena no pepa ji pepa me ti si ji na te chen jo chi lo ya si len jo chi korang jojo de khema de te do korang jojo de jabare nganso me seram jaba chi pare 코 조조들 케마데 아니 조조데 자데샤 코란 탕타 조레데샤 아니 양 코란 디스 라티 디스 동네들에도 양 조조디 코란 거 부고 차상을 베일라야다 부고데서 겐키야데 조조디 제데샤 잡아래 디인데 이 코니기 제단다고 내가 이용한다시 토송스
And then another like a life example for this the generosity thing is when I do my Wednesday prayers, I go to like the community hall, and then I do the prayers every Wednesday, and then there I met an elderly like who gave his one of his kidney to his own brother, like who was suffering, and then now like thankfully both the brothers are alive, and then they both are doing really good. So the one like the brother who gave his like both are doing well. So it's more like both the brothers right now are taking care of one is monk, the one who got the kidney was the monk, and then the one who gave the kidney was the one Geshe encountered with. So right now these both brothers are working everything out like together like how they both are trying to teach others like to do everything together, and then they are like setting really good examples in our society as well, like how you give out of generosity but without seeking anything. So right now the monk brother is also helping like the other brother who gave his kidney to him skits, like teaching them Tibetan and stuff. So like in a way it's helping him. So but he gave it without hoping something in return. Yes.
Yes, thank you. That's a wonderful example. That's very powerful. Zara, did you have any comment that you'd like to make?
Bernie alluded to the jewel liberation text about the three types of generosity: the material, protection from fears, and then the generosity of Dharma, giving Dharma. And I've been more aware of the third, the generosity of Dharma, recently with the program I'm in for the 3-year retreat program, and more specifically, Lance, and how that looks. It doesn't have to look like me having someone come to a group like this, but setting up like kids with to engage in generosity, like as a gift, or behave like teaching or spreading things in a way that are Dharma in nature, or access to the Dharma without calling it Buddhism or calling it the word Dharma. So that's something that I've been really focused on lately, is making it accessible to others, the spreading of the Dharma without calling it Dharma or Buddhism.
Thank you.
Welcome.
자르기 가르송슬나 안 탄다 버니기 틸레소스 탄다 짐바지 모숨르니 만다 숨시다 아니 카레 겐시게 최저까지 토니도 체 아니 치타다 생신도르니 엔도 강송다
상승기 짐발라 그러 셔마지. 알아서
상신
아야 동양다고 때 숨고부터 소때 받들래라 거. 아니
상신다
집과 잡지 짐발라 그러 소자야다고 때 소래. 아니 찔을 최지 짐바래.
원디즈 나오는 이니 자라콩 아니 카레 generosity of giving dharma 린 추기 짐바 강라 아니 슈크첨보로 대샤 추토낭로다 덴딜레송스 아니 ngaranso에 탄다 딘데레 나우치 카레 안데 장아리 라바레 디강라 카레 ngaran소 차돌 땀샤디 잠부 미망보지레 디강라 레고라 디여드라 원디기 초진이 신의 슈낭취르니 낭바지레던 엔디케마 조싱 알onso pat 낭취르는 엔디신 슈크첨보로 조샤디 잠발니 니 야부두르니 원디송스
빼면서야 본다. 때때 제운데 간소 게게게 게툴로 마 로종 때야 줘라. 대한 최지 짐바조나 세거든 드나 디그들라 간다 레바게 차니 힘마 짐바 땡조레 되어라. 그래서 사마 짐바 빼야 버르다. 파마가 뿌글은 로단 러비야 줘라. 다 대송은에 타네 짐바야 뭐 휴레도 대송.
Yeah, just like Zara mentioned about the generosity of giving dharma, the way like how teachers teach their students, that's also a way of like generosity, where like how teachers are teaching, and then parents educating their kids. All these are also form of generosity of giving dharma.
Generosity la de jimba rang khatu ming do chagdo e.
Yes.
Yeah, to chang.
Well, thank you all very much. Does anybody have any other comments you'd like to follow up with regarding the generosity? And you know, the point of not expecting, having any expectations of a reciprocation, that we're not doing these things. Our motivation is not because we want somebody to do something back to us. We're not expecting something as a reward or something like that. We're doing these things out of our dedication for the benefit of others, whether we're a fire person or a police person or a holy person or a medic, someone who's in the medical field, whatever it is, we're doing these things because it enhances the lives of others and we're not expecting something in return. So many people are like that and encountering people to keep our intellect, our mind open, our recognition, our intellect of who they are, but more important, our heart, to be able to see into their heart and see what their motivations are and maybe what they need to be. And is there something that we can do, at least from a heart message, from our heart to their heart, to try and inspire them to have more of a spiritual connection with whatever their chosen field of work is, the way in which they are engaging in society and so on, that we can help them just one little notch, one little bit, to be a little bit more spiritually inspired.
Thank you. 아니 파 카레 짐발은 다 파티에 제니 출라지 윤거리 사마도다 된데가지 로치에 미교지 아니 바드 코라시 시엔딜라 팽가지 체돌라니 소소기 땅아 도시겨라 테아레 차와카리 체니 다 원디 간자니 짐바가지 올 수두레스 아니 페샤샤나 가랑소 카레 메가지 숨겹 치니 미두조레 아니 메가나로 라가치니야지 레지 디게 디네레 차창기다 미셴바딜 페나 삼고라 아니 미셴바 디가지 미시들이야 야게 드야가 지직 체돌라 아니 원디 돌린다 차와디게 차상 치두 삼바디게 차상 바 진뱅 오슉 첨보다 도고레스 다 나랑 중요니 가리로 채고돌라 나랑 중요니 아니 가라 파주초디게 차와 삼보딜라 무에징야리 아니 돈도 무에서 무에징인 통토야 공저 차와야 부디 통도 아니 다가스미기 통화 조고 많이 받지 셈니 나랑 수 튀다 도도 초르토야 도셔라 덴데로체 아니 파조레 바드 셈조 쳔봉니 렌테 아니 파조 차치니딜레 셈슈 파라레 카리네르니야 다 직펜직 토소르렌 차이로와 덴데로 방송스
때빼 원도 할래봐 나지 가르쳐서나 단다 디지 초도 아메리카 슝근 로단도 버지 여러와 빼는 차샤바는 가랑 좀 미수소라 뭉쇠통이나 뭉쇠통이래 빠베기 안 태지 슝래야 되고도 야 동쇠 티쇠통이나 티쇠통이래 빠베기 태지야 슝르데 마테고라 동쇠통이나 동쇠통이래 빠베기 태지 슝래야 되거와 간다 레가 제통이 수소로 추용고 여딩이나 용고들 빠베기야 태지 슝르 되기여와 슝그 태데 마음바 수소로 촌 goya chungde chun na chi ndula te mai ba shungge dewa yin roson tang go sa ya chopo nyam thala ropa che go sa la ta da ba ta ya je kho cho wa de so la ya ropa che go sa la ta so ra de chi che unde su su ya the te dung de so chama de jimba khona la ten de jin ro sa ra sam sa la de chona yung dos
Thank you, Lansla. And then another way of great like another thing I would like to add is regarding this one, the tax thing, like how everybody pays their tax, right? The way the United States, like this government works, that's really like in a way like very beautiful because everybody provide their taxes and then the tax if you need it then it will return like alternately to you, right? Otherwise the tax is being used where it is needed, right? In order to improve the street or to the homeless or to the national parks and all this way. So like how it is being distributed in a really like great way. So that could be considered as a form of generosity as well.
Yes, thank you. Yes, Geshe. Geshe, did you have another comment?
No, brother Kingala.
Gunga, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to say if only people thought of their taxes as a way to be generous, that would be wonderful. I feel like that the taxes are often thought of as a way that the government is unnecessarily requiring you to help other people, and that it shouldn't be the government's role, and that people spend a lot of time, especially people with a lot of money, figuring out ways to not pay their taxes. So, thank you.
공각이 가르송스러나 tatanda gishigi sungdanga di tolishina ani pe in the hodus midi zo enda samroshina tete dang kaya chinna mi mangcha ji gi tela di kandiro ngo zungulina shungni thaga nga chagen thwa sur dosha ni susu ngui di zo phaki to gyo ro ngo ande ro zungres na thondong ngui mangbo ye gyo mi zo gi te mati el thapsi pe shuk chang butang gres
라서 티뱀 시 티군가 소아들 만티요
yeah, that's really true. Gishi agrees with you.
나게 삼수 찌제나 라셔마지 미 게바찌 그러다 게바찌 그 소소 그 르바 땅제네 로종 땅 남주다 근데 배저 땅제네 무 소소 게를 쳐 루에 줘와 티 첼 게바 루에 등에 산에 티 튼튼치다 야버지레 상금은도스티 티 년가 빼레스다디 시당 벤조 세든 라냥다보다 쉬운 거 차네 마 요구야다 어느 슝로 요구야다 슝 추보 인구야다 슝 디게 파 가사깔 랑가 sö고사 랑가야 보세 빡 sö살 빡야 보세 지야디 빼야 버려 마도지 미리리 니리 추보 샤나 차보 찬로야 디게 마웅바 지소 덥신 로야게 년가야 첨벌에 상거도스
I think if an individual uses their education or their mind in a way where they become a super rich, I don't think that's a really a good way, that's valid or that would not be healthy because if the government is rich and then they would spread the money or do it somehow it all the expenses would be really great where everybody benefits, not if the certain individual is very rich, then it could be applied to you yourself, right? Yes, Larry.
I'm not sure that paying taxes is a good example of generosity for the simple reason that if you don't pay, the government will come and throw you in jail.
Thank you. 공기 카레 테가지 디야 아주 진바 아주 몰 지메스 카제나 키시랑기 테디 마티나 아니 슝기 켜라 주야 정할 루에레 카리네데 충시라스.
레 뎀바르 레레 튼지에 차데요라데
That's true because that's also part of the government's rule, right? Yeah.
레 나보도
Yes.
Okay, should we
I wanted to add one more thing. I mean, I think that there's a wide gap between what we teach about in the Paramitas in Buddhism and what the current political powers believe in the United States. And that is very difficult to apply any of the Paramitas to the way government is being practiced because it feels like they're disregarded, unknown, not valued by the current government.
공기 갈송슬라나 다 ngaransu tanda parsing ture dige dida tanda ngaransu wang yunyi soliya nguesu laolen la che me gyo rostus ngaransu pa jara ga ji pe ro ji jara thapsi tane yungmin dos pat khora ngansu khala gap do di shuk chembo shu dos khasana ma jar go samne pe kale hagu dula sha ani parsing tu ga ji ring thang ro dige de pat me gyo ro cha ro dos pension ti ta shama tu gyo ro je dos
먼저 왕이就是간데
중라 왕제 수수랑
중국 병보 된다는 거라 그래.
단다 슝기 신지 러 시에 계절에
네네.
신지 왕탕 수수 진샤교 로스다.
그래. 된다 보다.
Yeah, that's really true.
I think that speaks to the issue of attachment, desire, and so on. We have a responsibility to be part of society, I think, and that when things don't go the way that we would like them to go, how attached do we become to that? What do we engage in to try and counter that? Do we remain peaceful? Or do we, counter what seems to us to be very offensive behavior and so on by the government, do we wage some kind of battle with them, whether it's a figurative battle, it's a battle of ideas, or is it to become a battle in the streets where they take up arms against the people and so on like that? So I think we have to recognize what our abilities are, what our powers are as human beings, and not make things worse, more suffering for other people or ourselves, our families, and so on. But at the same time, to constantly be a reminder to those people who we think are doing things that are causing harm to other people, to remind them that they are doing these things, and let that be points of discussion open in the field of the public domain.
아니 란슬라기 카르송슬라나 탄다다 디가지야 안데 카레 파신 투딩에서 파 페도 자니 자마토에로 디게디야 차파 라오라타 attachment 가지 모도 찍을 지샤네 디마레스 카자는 수술라 아니 다 지소지가지 카레 게인지 유에 토니로 야레교로레 인잠잠 수수기 도미나시 아니 마윤두 잠바 아니 차파 디겐게 아니 가랑스 칸들로 아니 자주레 카레니 체당디 독자도 언드로 람초레 드야도스 아니 원디 가랑스 미소소레다 게르소소레 카레니 수수기 뉴발라디 통투아체 아니 수술레 수술 나미던 핑핑게 카리네 간다 미신바들 뉴마게 로직 체샤 덴델라니 양시양시 팅고랑레 수술기에 제바체레 덴데베 캐션 보통 것도스
투제체 다라레다 랑쇼르 차파 옌쇼르 당와세디 여드르와 셈나로르 삼상다지다 예란다지다 체반다지 셰원디 아나 텔레팜베기 샤와지 짱고야 용거르와 디 샤와 짱야 때서 참마데 파신 두다 멘팀베기 샤와 짱자렌로다 rather than so 다라
Thank you. That's very true. Just like Lancelot stated, when there is like being too self-centered, like thinking the differentiation between like mine and then yours and stuff like that, when you start differentiating, all the actions would be against the 6 paramitas.
Yeah, so I think the Dalai Lama has been a great example. Here are the Tibetan people who have lost their homeland and so on, and they've been separated from their families, and one day they may be united. One day it may come together. It may be in our lifetime. It may be in another lifetime or something, much later on. But nevertheless, he doesn't stop. The Tibetan people don't stop reminding the world and the Chinese people that they have stolen the land of Tibet, and that they have done misdeeds in the process of doing that. So they haven't shrieked away from that, but they haven't caused any more harm in the process of that. So whether it's in Ukraine or whether it's in the Middle East or any of those places where these kinds of things are happening, to be able to have that kind of mentality about being able to maintain your own morality, to maintain your own paramitas, your own perfections, and not lose them, as a result of other people having done that to you.
Thank you. 아니 다 단다 파신 tuk다 만개와 치니 차오배당로 딜라 빼야시디 콘쇼다니 가는주 배된까지 강의디 강을 빼슈첨부도 빼샤요리스 가자면 아니 배바소리 ngogo가지 시외 ngo고도 넘버딜라 또 미션발이 뇌게 고마레테 이나 갸나 슝다 잠블링 강자리 양고수 티다데 체디교로 수수라오 메교로다 디 강자직체 아니 but 간들라오다 파신 툴레 마기야 셰페하고도 아니 디마인 방아론스타 탄다 개컵셴바한테 요라타 디 샤르총윤도까지 개컵셴바 디게딜리나야 콘주기 자주 빼당디리안 디스 만디아도단 던디로도아스 간다 파진 투다 춤바치니 자디게 베르투나 아니 수소레 디메아체니 지소레 답싱라니 상신디 슈크샹부디 차이민도아스
Thank you.
Mhm. Thank you. That's really true.
All right. Well, thank you. I don't think there's enough time to start another topic. But if anybody has any last questions or comments that you'd like to make while we're all together in the next few minutes, otherwise we'll do our dedications. But if you have something that you'd like to bring up to speak about right now, would be a good time. Any questions for Geshe? Okay, well then we'll close it for this evening, if that's okay. Geshe, do you have any final words that you'd like to say tonight?
Yenda mise mero ashamach.
Mhm.
Ta ngamso tanda di yimba de song sarwa.
Mhm.
E nimba de la sutin song do wa. Sutin song de zamane kar song de sena sutin sia de susol ting la de rule la de tipare do routine na te an dig do. Sutin mena ramde dugu mares. Ramde dugu mena yenden ruya da gemo kechares ta sutin mason bayina. Ane tinde imba song zang kowa tang dindele xianxia xiu qianpo che, chaxian xiu qianpo che, dangxie xiu qianpo che ne, ane sipa la cha dewa le, ane tsutingde yapo songgo kres. Sipa la ndumba mepe ke tohne, susu susu ke tungde yapo che song ne, ane nyamlen che goya de karasana, tung songpe ke tohne yimba nyamlen che goya, tung songpe ke tohne zopa nyamlen che goya, tung songpe ke tohne zunru nyamlen che goya, tung songpe ke tohne hera nyamlen che goya se, tende se yonde, toso sama de nyamlen tsama ke mangin rabo de tungde yago yores, ta jekha ino za tungde ge chenpo pe zigidwa, tena lo cho cho na lo chu tingde so de pe ge za chenpo zigi yores, tama yin tuche.
Mhm. Gishi doesn't have anything to add on the generosity, but he would like to do a brief about the discipline, which would be like next week's discussion. So he just wanted to state that discipline or the rule or like your own routine, that's something like if you want to do something, so you should have something of your own rule and then like your own routine thing so that you can do it, right? Without being able to do something by yourself, how would you think of like helping others? So basically, discipline is like the land where the plant grows, and then just like that, discipline is the foundation. So with a good discipline, like with the discipline, like the moral ethics, then you can start practicing the generosity in the right way, and then practice your wisdom, and then practice the patience and all these things. So discipline is like the basic foundation. Yep.
난소 톱드가라 산노시 단데 메시게데 층세야데 벌써 돈도 가버럽시다. 층싱에데 지 담딩이 소럽시다. 지미 라완토는 구제지에 면조 소럽지 찌로치 그래서 당 오마라 산노 단데 층싱에데 미기 데지 자완다보지 땡데레데 하스. 데 멤버제 간소 녀모 두송 그 가르체니 존은 라만다지 제가 바이는데 타메 타주 아서 올문디 버체네. 데 배데 동에 차상 떠나 좀 했대 차디하스.
So discipline is like the basic foundation, just like how imagine if there is no discipline or something like that, then if we are being ruled under the control of our negative emotions, then there would really be like chaos in our like thoughts. So that's why discipline is really, really, really important.
다 있었죠.
Thank you.
Thank you. And just a reminder that in the Jewel Ornament of Liberation, there's chapters 12 through chapter 17 are the Six Paramitas. So if you want to take some time to refresh your memory about these things and to be ready to engage in more conversation next time and the times that come after that and everything, by consulting the book, the reference book, is an excellent thing to do. So whether it's the Jewel Ornament of Liberation or Words of My Perfect Teacher or so many of the other texts that we have, it would be great to be able to do that. So thank you, Geshe. Would you recite a dedication prayer, please?
샹세와당 최제 샤바당 제소이랑 꾸이기소 게와 종제다게 제사바 담제조비 샹추싱오. Thank you.
Om, Ah, Hung. Om, Ah, Hung. Om, Ah, Hung. May my body, speech, and mind become inseparable with the body, speech, and mind of all the enlightened ones for the benefit of all sentient beings. Thank you, Brother Geshe-la.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Sister Yangchen. Thank you, and everybody else, Zara and Bernie and Larry and Kunga. Thank you all for being here tonight. And everybody on YouTube, thank you. And if we can be of any assistance to anybody, just drop us an email. We'll be glad to respond. Thank you all so much. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.